But hey, everyone, what's going on? So, was actually on a very long vacation, and I've been wanting to try some felt strips on my new bass drum here. So I went ahead and bought some, and we're gonna do that throughout this whole thing. But also, I'm gonna talk about the dream kit, which you can probably see the tom here, the bass drum right here, just the nice Gretsch drum kit. So I want to kind of start off with first saying why Gretsch. There's my other key. Why Gretsch? I have an interesting relationship with Gretsch because about 8 years back, when I was still like new at drums, I was doing okay things. I wasn't the best. I was pretty mediocre back then, but I had promise. And I believe I was at a guitar center, and they had a Gretsch Catalina rock kit, I believe, and I sat down behind it and tried it. And this time I wasn't really as well versed in like all the different drum brands at the time. I had just gotten my Pearl Export kit at this time, which was a good kit, and we'll get to that here in a bit. But I was playing Pearl, and I'm like, I'm just gonna try this and just kind of see how this drum kit feels, because I've never tried this before. So I get down behind it, and for some reason I hated it. It was my first time ever seeing a Gretsch kit. It's my first time playing a Gretsch kit. I just sat down and I hated it. I'm like, okay, Gretsch sucks. So then I never gave any more thoughts about Gretsch, and I'm just like, okay, Gretsch just sucks, unless if you spend like $3-4 grand on their top line kits, which at that point every kit sounds great. It's all now a matter of personal preference. So that was my initial Gretsch sort of taste. Then the early 2010s, I can't remember what year this came out, but Keith Carlock had done the whole recording session, a series for Vic-Firth, and I watched it. And I remember watching that. I'm like, man, he sounds awesome. But then I was like, man, that's like the best sounding drum kit I have ever heard. And then I began looking at what drum kit he had, and I began researching. I'm like, oh, it's a Gretsch. But man, does that thing sound awesome. And I think everyone knows that he primarily plays a Gretsch Brooklyn Glen kit. So I looked at the price tag of that kit, and I saw that it was like $2,500. I'm like, no way I will get that kit ever in my lifetime. Just no way. So then I let that thing go. But I always kept that sound in my mind. That wonderful, just Gretsch drum kit. To where then, like 2 years later, I began watching Mike Johnston, and I began hearing his kit. I'm like, wow, that kit sounds awesome. What does he play? He plays Gretsch. I'm like, dang it. Another Gretsch guy, and he's got a USA Custom, so I'm like, okay, there's no way that I'm gonna play Gretsch, but Gretsch is the sound that I want. So basically, from that point on, I knew that my absolute 100% dream drum kit was going to be Gretsch. And just real quickly, have you ever taken off a drum head and just smelled the wood that just radiates from inside of the drum? It just smells so nice. So this is going to be the now painful part, which, oh boy. So this might take a moment. Hey, there we go. So now, oh, wonderful. Okay, now we are in business here. Just one moment, and then we'll get back to talking more about Gretsch drums and my newfound love for Gretsch drums, basically. Okay. So now back onto topic. So then at that point I knew, okay, if I have to have an ultimate dream kit, like no budget, no anything, and I can buy anything I want Gretsch. But it took me until like last year to realize that you can get that great Gretsch a sound for under $1,500. And I'm like, whoa, wait. I thought this was a top tier thing. Well, turns out I had found the Gretsch Renowns. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know these were a thing. But now that they are a thing, I'm now very intrigued. So then this thing is heavy. Very heavy. So then I just began doing like more research. And more research. And more research. And I researched as much as I physically could on Gretsch Renowns. Then I heard a drummer, Nathaniel Townsley, on Gretsch's YouTube page. And he was playing a Renown. And this is a guy who is endorsed by Gretsch, and he could get any Gretsch kit he wants. But he raved so much on how the Renown drum kit sounds. And I'm like, am I missing something here with this drum kit? Like, what is it to this drum kit that makes it so good? I was just completely lost. Like why would you pick a $1,500 drum kit that you absolutely love? Then I began just doing more and more research, and then it got to the point where, okay, I have to buy Gretsch. So I had already been saving up at this point now for like a couple months. So then I get a call by the guy that I did part of the drum tracks for on the album. So he calls me. Hey, I've got a, well, he basically says, so I'm planning to do a live show, and you're my number one option for drum kit. How do you feel about, so basically, how do you feel about playing drums for this show? And I'm like, yes. Yes. So now I'm playing a live show. But I still have this kind of cheap and small drum kit because I had the Yamaha Tour Custom and the Ludwig Breakbeats, which both are fantastic drum kits. It's just that, well, the Ludwig has a 16-inch bass drum. The Yamaha is an 18. So not truly ideal for a major live concert. So then that was the point to where I went into complete high gear. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do this now. I have to buy the drum kit before this show and use this kit at this show. Not bad so far, just an on finger tighten. So I had been saving up, and I was $600 short in like July. So I needed somehow to come up with the rest. And actually managed to sell the Yamaha the Yamaha Tour Custom and something else, which actually, if you're curious, it's actually a $300 pair of shoes. And those two things combined gave me the money to buy this kit. It literally took just that, and then I was able to buy the drum kit. So that's how I was able to get this. Now it's time to just tune this back up. Okay. Now to bring this back down as we have in complete even tension. So then you might ask us, well, why the large sizes with a 24 kick, a 13 rack, and a 16 floor tom? Because I have always enjoyed, and I kind of grew up watching a lot of the like older jazz guys like Krupa, Rich. Now I'm drawing a blank. Art Balaki, like all those guys. I was always like watching older jazz, and then I began watching guys like Neil Peart and Bonham, and they always had large sized drums, and I was a fan of that sound. So now that's why I got these. So basically so basically, to put it all into terms, I wanted that great Gretsch sound, but I also wanted to honor the past, the old drummers with the very large bass drums, the larger rack tom, the larger floor toms, and then so that way I could tune them up just a little bit higher and still get a great sound. Because I've also learned as well throughout all of my years of playing, it is easier to make a larger drum sound higher than it is to make a smaller drum sound lower or larger. So that's why I got these big size drums. But now that I've got this thing tuned up, I'm gonna set this all back up, and we're gonna give this a listen now, and maybe tweak it, get some more, and I don't know. I might put this the other one on the front head. Not sure yet, but let's just kind of see how this sounds. Okay, let's do a few tweaks. So let's bring this back up by a complete half turn on everything. Okay, so this is now a half turn higher. Wow. I mean, I know there's a ton of like snare drum buzz, but you just hear that just low rumble. Wow. That is sounding like a bass drum. So I might still put that on the front head. I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to try and do more of these here. I don't know how often they'll like come out, but I will try and do more and just kind of talk more as the show comes closer and as I get the rest of the pieces and parts that I need for this kit. So, I thank you all for watching, and keep on drumming.